I'm Mary Berry, and in this series I'll be sharing some of my best foolproof secrets with you. I think it's really important to have a selection of trusted recipes that you know will never let you down. No matter what the occasion, I'll show you how to make it simple. From my delicious ideas for lazy days...
Here are darling, a treat for you.
I could get quite used to this. It's very nice.
To easy recipes when time is tight. And scrumptious goodies to thrill the family.
Oh, thank you very much. A spoon.
Today, it's foolproof recipes for those days when you want something that's just a little bit special.
It's a real treat.
For me, special days are all about having good friends around and giving them something that I know they're going to enjoy. It's time to push the boat out with the very best ingredients for dishes that feel truly sumptuous. But it really must be something that I can prepare ahead so that I can spend time with them. A seafood treat that's the height of decadence. A gorgeous vegetable dish that's bound to impress. A regal classic that will satisfy the heartiest appetite. And a stunning pud that will finish things off with great style. But let's begin with a dinner party favourite. Salmon is the perfect fish to serve for a special occasion. I've got them from the centre cut and I have taken the skin off those. So, onto the topping. Finely chop a handful of chives and add to a packet of soft cream cheese. If you pick up low-fat cream cheese, it'll just run off the salmon, it won't have the flavour and it won't have the texture, so full fat. To pack in more flavour, add some grated parmesan and a clove of crushed garlic. That looks just about right. Smells beautifully of chives. Now we want some black pepper in there. And some salt. So we now have the topping ready for the salmon. So dollop it on. The idea is to cover the fillet from end to end fairly evenly. Liven up the top with a sprinkling of lemon zest and parsley. Doesn't that brighten it up? And of course, it all adds to the flavour as well. Finish off with red pepper for a lovely striking effect. For perfectly cooked salmon every time, bake at 180 fan for 15 minutes, but keep an eye on it. When you see the first little bit of liquid coming out of the fish, out, it'll be done. While that salmon's cooking, I'm going to do a very special accompaniment, spiralised vegetable. I've got a spiraliser here, quite a simple one. Looks a bit like an egg timer, doesn't it? So, first of all, a courgette, push it down and just turn it round, holding the spiraliser firmly. So watch, magic. Do you know, it's a bit like sharpening a pencil, isn't it? A few carrots add a splash of colour. Helps to have two weapons to stir it, and you just turn it like this. And finally, parsley, lemon juice and zest to set off the flavour of our fish. Lift that up. Whee, just like spaghetti. That's a new healthy way to do veg. That looks just about right. Can you see at the very front here, there's just a little bit of liquid coming out. That's how it should be. Now a little juice over the top. So there you have it, my beautiful salmon with a nice herb and pepper topping. I think that's just perfect for a special occasion. Sometimes special days require a bit of decadence. And for me, there's nothing more indulgent than lobster. I've travelled to Ventnor on the Isle of Wight to meet Ed Blake, whose family have been making a living off these shores since the 1830s.
Hello, right?
Hello, Ed.
Yes, it is.
You're taking me lobster catching.
I am, yeah.
And what a day.
It's
How
beautiful,
marvellous.
isn't it? Absolutely beautiful. Come aboard.
Can I just take your hand?
Yeah,
You're-
I'll come this way.
I'll
On the
stand
leg
back.
in. This is a first for me.
Unfortunately, not for me.
Around 400 lobster pots lie at the bottom of these waters, strung together in rows.
Boy, just ahead.
Every 24 hours, the fishermen head out to check each one, hoping their bait has done the trick.
Here we go, the first pot's on its way.
Local laws keep the lobster population in check.
So here we go, first lobster of the day.
Right.
Just gauge in.
Right.
So it goes from behind the eye socket to the back of the head. This one is undersized here. And you
Has
see-
to be past that.
Yeah, yes, the back of the head has to be up to there. So,
So that goes back.
he goes back.
It's your lucky day. Why is Ventnor a good place to find lobsters?
Right, off of here, off of Ventnor, we got the point of the Isle of Wight, and there's the headland of Cherbourg, which causes a pinching in of the land, which accelerates the tide through it. This means the lobsters have to be strong to be able to fight against these strong currents, and also have a very good feed supply, because the more tide there is, the more nutrients there is in the water being carried. So they don't have to move far to get their feed, a lot of feed.
Well, you got two in here.
Two in this one.
That was lucky.
But here we have a buried one. So you can see the eggs under her tail there.
Oh gosh, are they always black?
They're always black. On a big lobster, can be up to 250,000 of them in there. So
And that you must definitely put back.
must definitely put
because
back. Well, that's our future. That's our stock for the next generation.
So you must come out in all weathers.
Yes, in fact, the best fishing is when it's really rough. That gets the nutrients stirred up. So we're actually praying for wind half the time.
We haven't had a big lobster yet, so let's look.
Let's have a look. Look at that. You just called it. Lovely big lobster.
That's a whopper.
So
From
the back of the
behind
eye
eyes, yeah.
to there. She's
Yeah.
definitely inside. She hasn't got any eggs, so we're good to keep her. Good, solid weight of a lobster.
I mean, it is a real beauty, this lovely shiny black.
And the
of
rich
course,
blues in the tail, look at them.
absolutely lovely.
Absolutely amazing.
And of course, when that is cooked, it goes bright red. This is a real delicacy. It is the king of the sea, really.
It is, there's nothing better.
With our pots checked, it's time to head back to shore to sample today's catch. And here in Ventnor, they have a very unique way of serving it.
Here we go. So the lobster we caught this morning.
Gosh, that's very decadent. Chips and lobster. It's a real treat. You know what? That was the real taste of the sea. It is absolutely scrumptious. And I'm in for my next slice. Blow the chips.
I might join you.
You've been waiting for that, haven't you?
Can't beat it.
You can't beat it.
Well, lobster and chips was a new one on me. But if you're preparing a special dinner for friends, this next recipe might just fit the bill. Right, first of all, let me make the aioli. Count out 6 tablespoons of full-fat mayonnaise. No need to make your own. Then I'm going to add some creme fraiche. Again, full fat, just 4 tablespoons. 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. Tarragon works beautifully with fish. I'm adding 3 sprigs, but you could use dill if you prefer. The smell coming up from this is absolutely lovely. Then we'll need a little pepper and salt. Now, aioli is French mayonnaise with garlic, a lot of garlic. I've just put 1 clove of garlic because I find when you press it, all that juice comes out, and I think that's plenty. Don't be tempted to chop it because you'll get big pieces in your teeth and you'll know it for a couple of days. Right, the next thing is to cook the lobster tails. Here they are, and they take no time to cook, about 5 minutes. All I need is boiling salted water. That's it. I want a delicate vegetable alongside, so tender asparagus is perfect. They snap just where the tenderness finishes. Just watch, like that. There we are. The lobster has had its 5 minutes. Look at that gorgeous bright pink, lovely. Now that's too hot for me to handle, so just leave it. Don't go and run it under cold water. That'll take some of the lovely salty flavour away. So just leave that naturally to get cold. Get on and do another job. Have you made the beds yet? Now don't panic about removing the tail. This method is foolproof. Don't try and do it cutting the back. Turn it right over to the softer side, hold the tail and put the point of a knife in there, right in the middle, and cut down. There we are. Then we do it from the other end. Just to where I started before, push that down. Once you've got it in like that, then just go, how about that? So, once you've done that, it doesn't look so attractive, but there's a lovely surprise on the other side of the tail. It's a glorious, bright pink. Let me show you. What I'm doing is gently prizing it away from the skin. There we are. This dish is all about showing off. So put the 2 halves back in the opposite shelves. They will fit, trust me. Take some lamb's lettuce, and I'm going to sit the lobster tail on it, so it looks as though it's sitting on some rather bright seaweed. Then some asparagus. All that needs is the aioli, so a nice blob of that. So there it is, a real treat, pushing the boat out, lobster tails with asparagus and tarragon aioli. When you're planning a special occasion, it's important to cater for all tastes. And this next dish is a lovely, rich way of serving vegetables. It's colourful, it's tasty, all in one dish, and you can do it ahead. Let's get going. I'm using courgette, red pepper and aubergine because they roast so well. Now I'm going to add about 4 tablespoonfuls of oil, give or take. You just rub it together and eventually it'll all get covered in that olive oil. If you just drizzle the oil, you'll miss bits. This works every time. I think that's well and truly mixed. The secret to this dish is to roast the veg first. That way, all the moisture will be drawn out and the dish won't be soggy. Now I've set the oven at 200 fan and it will take about 25 minutes. I'm aiming to get them a nice colour and beautifully tender. All posh vegetables need a posh sauce. Mine is made with some red onion, 2 fat cloves of garlic, and to make it velvety smooth, I'm using passata. Now passata is just sieved tomatoes. Last few bits, sugar, chopped basil and thyme, and leave it to simmer for 10 minutes. Now to take out our vegetables, you'll notice they've really shrunk. Now it's time to make the layers. That's it, looks colourful already. For real richness of flavour, a generous layer of grated Gruyere cheese. So when that cooks, it all melts. So you can imagine you have this sort of lovely stringiness in the middle, which adds to the flavour, adds to the style of the dish. Now that really works out rather well, doesn't it? That's it. Finally, for a sense of occasion, top with generous chunks of tomato wedges. Once I've done all this, you look at it and you think, that's all ready for my special party. It's all done. All I've got to do is put it in the oven. It's a lovely feeling to be able to prepare ahead. Cover it with foil to help it cook evenly and steam the tomatoes. Then into the oven at 180 fan for around 25 minutes. That's just like I wanted it to be. It's bubbling just at the edge here, and that cheese will have melted in the middle. Delicious on its own, or wonderful for a Sunday lunch with a leg of lamb. I think that looks most exciting, far better than the old-fashioned ratatouille. Some of my most special days are those shared with friends. I never drink at lunchtime, but this is an exception. A chance to share stories and remember the good old days.
The only thing I ever cooked before I married Paddy was lamb chops.
Did you woo him on lamb chops?
No, he took me out to dinner all the time.
I've known Mary, must be 53 or 4 years now. We did a dish in Housewife magazine with Chinese food, which was fairly new in those days, in the early 60s.
Well, this is Shirley, and very unlike Shirley, you've just got a cup of coffee or tea in your hand. Times have certainly changed, but here at Rules, things have stayed firmly in the past. It has been going since 1798 and is renowned for a dish which has remained unchanged for many years: Beef Wellington. The origin of this dish is unclear. Some say it was invented in Wellington, New Zealand. But I like the rumour that it was created in honour of the first Duke of Wellington, Arthur Wellesley.
Well, it's one of the classic dishes of this country, really, isn't it? But it's a bit of a finicky dish to actually make, and a lot of people don't really perhaps have the time or the expertise or whatever else to stand here and make it.
There's a few processes involved. It's not something that you can just come home, bang, in the oven. So you need to think about it, maybe pre-plan a wee bit and be quite organised.
Because we've had it on for so long, it doesn't actually feature on the menu anymore. Our guests know they simply have to ask for it, and we're delighted to create that for them.
And it's one of those dishes, you know, there's little point in trying to reinvent the wheel. It works. It's worked that way for hundreds of years. So it's a classic, iconic dish.
When I first made Beef Wellington, I suppose in 1966, it did seem very complicated. You either had a pate du foie all the way around it, or you had a sort of mushroom farce. And then to crown it all, you had a pancake. So wrap it in the pancake and then wrap it in puff pastry. It was a huge palaver.
I would say I'm slightly nervous about cooking Beef Wellington for Mary, to be honest. If the puff pastry goes soggy, I could be in a lot of trouble here. So.
I would never dream of doing it.
It's such an expensive piece of meat that one doesn't want to ruin it and overcook it, because there's nothing worse than an overcooked fillet of beef.
It's got to be done carefully. How beautiful is that? This is the moment of truth.
Fingers crossed.
It's a very large man portion.
Oh,
It does
my
look
God.
perfect.
That is perfect.
Oh, the meat is beautifully pink, and the crowning glory is the pastry. As I tap my finger against it, it's as crisp as can be. Perfection.
I'm a very relieved man, Mary. Very relieved man.
What are we waiting for?
Oh, it is so delicious. This is the most gorgeous flavour.
And none of us have cooked it. What a treat.
That really was a stunning beef Wellington. But if you want to make one at home, my version is far simpler. And just perfect for that special dinner party.
The first thing you need for beef Wellington is wonderful beef fillet. Now, I've got one here, and it is the middle cut. Now, that's important if you want to get every slice cooked the same degree. Now, it is expensive, but providing you cook it well, it'll be a real treat.
It's essential you take the time to seal the meat first.
There it is, sizzling.
This will give it a much better flavour later on.
But you want to do this fairly evenly. You don't want just brown on the top and brown underneath. It's got to be all the way around. Remember, this is not cooking the beef. This is just browning it.
Roast at 200 fan for 15 minutes, then let it cool and pop it into the fridge to chill. For the topping, I've fried off 350 grams of mushrooms, but make sure you drain the moisture. You don't want a soggy pastry.
And you must let this get cold first, otherwise it would cook the egg yolk like scrambled egg. So in goes the egg yolk. That helps to bind it.
To give it a deeper flavour, I'm using grated parmesan, Dijon mustard and fresh tarragon.
Little pepper and salt. And then you just mix that all together. It becomes quite firm. Can you see that? So that is my mushroom farce to go on top of the beef.
All we need now is the pastry casing, and I'm cutting a few corners.
It's pre-bought butter puff pastry. Life is too short for me to make puff pastry.
At last it's time to finish the beef Wellington. For a foolproof result, everything must be stone cold.
So pile that on like that. I'm having a nervous moment. I'm just wondering whether it's going to quite reach. So I'm just going to roll that just a little tiny bit longer there, just in case. Don't want to have to take it off again. That's it. So I'm going to brush around the outside with the egg, and that'll make it stick. Then I'm going to lift that up in one fell swoop, like that. And I haven't stretched it. If you stretch it, it'll go back and shrink. So just press that down like that. Glaze that with the egg that I mixed with milk. Why am I doing that? Because I want the strips to stick.
A touch more egg wash will give a glistening finish. Bake at 200 fan for 30 to 35 minutes. Until the pastry is golden brown and crisp.
Doesn't that look amazing? There'll be a lot of oohs and ahs at the table when that arrives. You just pull that away like that, and you can see that that's a lovely pink colour.
A side of greens and a luxurious tarragon and mushroom sauce are a perfect marriage.
I think I'll get that in on one go. Dare I say it, I think that would be my most favourite meat dish to serve for that very special occasion.
It's always good to end a special meal with a bit of a sparkle. And this pud is beautifully simple.
Panna cotta simply means cooked cream, and it comes from Italy. If you're in Italy, it's there on every menu. So that's 900 ml of cream, and then I'm going to add the sugar, 75 grams. In that goes. And I'm going to heat it simply enough to be really, really hot and dissolve that sugar.
For that hint of latte, add equal parts of instant coffee and water.
You could, if you wish, use 1 shot of espresso coffee if you prefer, but this I find gives a really good flavour. Now, to make the whole thing set, I need gelatin.
Soften 13 grams in water and add to the latte mixture.
Don't expect it to be like a thick sauce or anything. You won't notice any difference in the consistency, except that there's no floppy gelatin there. That's absolutely ready to go. That was easy, wasn't it?
Then into the fridge for at least 3 hours to set.
Right, the next move is the brittle. It's essential when you're making caramel to dissolve the sugar first.
To be foolproof, don't use a non-stick pan as the sugar will crystallise.
And now I can take the spoon out, never stir it again, turn up the heat, and the moment that it turns to a pale straw colour, off with the heat. I think that's almost the colour I want. So I'm going to turn the heat off. In goes the nuts. Move it round. And then pour that. I'm going to let that get stone cold, then I'll bang it and it'll all crush and have that beautiful flavour. Each little piece of nut will be covered in caramel and it'll look like a little jewel. There they are, lined up like soldiers. It helps to get them out if you just dip them in hot water for a moment.
A secret of getting it dead centre is to wet the plate first. You'll then be able to move them about.
Doesn't that look amazing? Lovely shine on it. You don't want to have the pieces too big to break their teeth, just about right. I promise you that that is going to bring a sparkle to the eyes of all your guests and friends. A perfect ending to that very special meal.
I love to be here.
What a treat.
What a treat.
Lovely.
Happy days.
Next time, it's my foolproof recipes for days when you need something comforting.
Life doesn't get better than that.
I'm Mary Berry, and in this series I'll be sharing some of my best foolproof secrets with you.
I think it's really important to have a selection of trusted recipes that you know will never let you down.
No matter what the occasion, I will show you how to make it simple. From quick and easy dishes, perfect for when time is scarce,
It really is absolutely delicious.
to scrumptious fuss-free goodies for days with the family, and truly special dishes that will thrill your guests.
That looks amazing.
Today, it's the best of my delicious, comforting home cooking.
Life doesn't get better than that. Whether it's in my family or my working life, I've never been one to put my feet up. But there are times when I just love food that picks you up and puts a smile on your face. And there's nothing wrong with indulging every once in a while. In this programme, I'm going to show you some of my foolproof, comforting recipes that I love most. A rich smoked fish pate to enjoy on hot, crunchy toast. My version of the most comforting of dishes. A hearty chicken casserole to lift the spirits. And a scrumptious dessert guaranteed to soothe the soul. But first, a warming soup to brighten the greyest of days with my cheesy Parma ham twists. One of my favourite soups is butternut squash. It makes you feel beautifully cosy and warm. But preparing butternut squash can be tricky, so I've got a couple of tips. If it's a young one, you can take an ordinary potato peeler and you can just take the peel off like that. But if it's late in the season, you just can't get that potato peeler into it. What I do is I use a big knife, something about the size of that, and I cut rings from it and then take out the seeds and take off the peel. It's a safer way to do it. Cut into cubes, then along with the chopped red pepper, a large chopped onion, and a couple of carrots, pop it into a polythene bag with some olive oil. So take that and just shake it all about. So tip it all into the tin. Season with pepper and salt and cook at 180 fan for 45 minutes. Roasting the vegetables first intensifies the flavour and I think gives it a bit of a kick. What makes this soup really special is topping the veg with some chopped ginger and runny honey. This just adds sweetness to it and it gives a bit of a glaze too. Roast for a further 5 minutes until all your veg are nice and soft. Then add it all to a casserole pot. Aren't they lovely and colourful? The smell is wonderful, that ginger. Add around 1.5 litres of vegetable or chicken stock and let it bubble away for about 10 minutes. Oh, that's just beautifully tender. And the smell. I can get that hint of ginger coming up and it smells beautiful. Turn that off. Now I'm just going to blend that until it's beautifully smooth. And now here we go. If it feels too thick, the trick is just to add a little more stock. That looks fine to me now. And I've got something rather special that I'm going to serve with this soup. Some mega cheese straws. Don't worry about making the pastry, just buy some good quality puff pastry. It wants to be fairly thin. That's about it. What makes these truly flavoursome is a layer of Dijon mustard. I bet you're amused looking at this brush. It is a paintbrush, but I find paintbrushes are more reasonable and you get a nice wide brush. I can do the job quicker. And some delicious Gruyere cheese. I've chosen Gruyere cheese because I like the way it melts down and the whole thing is very comforting. To make these melt in the mouth, press the cheese onto the pastry, then fold in half and start the process all over again. And to make these twists even more appetising, add some wonderful salty Parma ham. The dry cured ham gives it a great piquancy. That's it.
fold, roll and sprinkle one last time. All these light layers will create a mouth-watering crunch.
And then I'm going to cut this into 6. Do you know, this is a winning combination of flavours. I am immensely fond of Parma ham. I love cheese and crispy pastry. The 3 go really well together. Right, all I've got to do is give those a twist. 3 twists. 1 here in the middle and 1 at the end. Pop them on the tray like this, that way.
The secret to a perfect bake is to chill for 10 minutes and then pop in the oven at 200 fan for 20 minutes.
Keep an eye on them. They should be a good colour, a lovely pale golden brown. Then lower the temperature to about 140 just to get them cooked right through so that when you eat them, they're crispy all the way through. I think those look really tempting. I remember in the 80s when cheese straws, every time you went out for drinks, you would see cheese straws, and they were delicious. But these, well, I think they certainly a bit more one-upmanship with this. Very, very special. And of course, I've made huge ones of these, but you could make little ones to have with drinks.
I can't think of a more cosy lunch than a steaming hot bowl of soup with an indulgent cheese and ham twist.
Oh, so good.
Next, a comforting dish that's so delicious you won't believe how easy it is to make.
Mackerel pate is really, really simple and it goes very well with hot toast. First of all, you need smoked mackerel fillets. And of course, you recognise it instantly. It has that wonderful shine and pattern. So you just take each one and peel the skin off. So there's very, very little waste. It comes off like a dream. One of the things I really enjoy when we're on holiday is to go mackerel fishing because you're almost guaranteed to catch the fish. It's a great family outing. The one good thing about mackerel is it's not too expensive. And I think the flavour is beautiful.
Simply pop the fish into a processor with some creamy mascarpone cheese.
Mascarpone is very, very versatile, and I use it more and more for cheesecakes, all sorts of things.
What makes this pate surprisingly delicious is adding the zest and juice of a lime.
You automatically think of lemons and fish, but lime goes very, very well. Lovely bright green, in that goes.
And I've got a great juicing trick.
If you warm the limes, same with lemons, you'll get much more juice out. I think I've got every scrap out.
Finally, add some pepper and blitz.
It really couldn't be more simple.
I use whatever I have to hand to serve it in.
It will keep for a week in the fridge, and you can also freeze it. It freezes well. And for me, the essential part is having a really good bread toasted and then lashings of butter. This really is foolproof. You can make that pate in 5 minutes. So that surely must be worthwhile when it tastes as good as this. Life doesn't get better than that.
My husband Paul and I have been married for nearly 50 years, and we both love nothing more than a cosy evening at home in front of the fire.
Oh, that looks warm and welcoming, Paul.
Oh, lovely. Thanks very much. Is that all right?
Oh, another one, definitely.
Another one.
I always try my recipes on Paul first. And this next dish is a new idea and it's gone down a treat.
Comfort food for me is all about warming food. Recipes that you can do all in one pot. Very little to wash up and so easy to serve. Right, let's get going then.
Start with the spicy filling. Over a high heat, fry 500 grams of lean minced beef along with 2 large chopped onions.
I want it to brown fairly quickly. Nice hot pan. Choose a nice roomy one, but you've got to be able to put it into the oven to bake. So you might as well think you're making bolognese at this stage, but we're not. We're making something a little more spicy.
Once nicely browned, stir in a couple of cloves of crushed garlic and a finely chopped red chilli.
Then we've got 1 red pepper, which I've just cut into cubes.
And add a couple of cans of chopped tomatoes.
So just mix that in. It's a lovely, colourful mixture, that.
Now for the fragrant ground spices. A tablespoon each of coriander and cumin, 2 of my favourites, followed by some tomato puree.
So a little pepper and salt. And I'm going to put that in the oven at 140 fan for about an hour.
When it's all cooked through, my tip is to add a dollop of mango chutney.
It just sweetens it up, particularly with tomato. I often feel that something a little bit sweet helps. So a couple of tablespoonfuls of mango chutney and some coriander. It's very popular in Mexican food and I think it's quite a lovely herb.
And now it's time to assemble. All you need are 3 large shop-bought tortillas, 150 grams of grated cheddar and 250 grams of mascarpone.
I'm going to put 1/3 of the mince at the base. Do you know, the smell of the spices and coriander is lovely. It's not a hot, spicy dish. It's aromatic. And I found that even the young loved it. Mind you, the young nowadays do like things hotter than I ever did.
Place a tortilla on top and spread over 1/3 of that creamy mascarpone.
Sort of softens the tortilla too.
Followed by 1/3 of the cheddar. And then simply repeat twice.
So that's ready for the oven. It'll go in at 180 and it'll take 30 minutes to really heat through till it's bubbling and a lovely golden brown on top. That really does look tempting. Do you know, I think a little coriander over the top just to finish it off. I think that would be really perfect for a lovely, cosy evening in with the family at home. I guarantee they're going to really love it.
For me, there's one ingredient I use more than anything else when I'm cooking up something comforting, and that's garlic. Today, we're a nation of garlic lovers, but it wasn't always so popular. When I started writing recipes, I had to list it as optional. Isle of Wight farmer Colin Boswell is a garlic obsessive who has been growing this pungent bulb for nearly 40 years.
What did your pals think of you growing garlic in the 70s?
A complete joke. And it's only as people like M&S started to do a lot of garlic bread and chicken Kiev, and people started to say, oh, maybe he's got something right.
Colin's so passionate about garlic, he's travelled the world on a quest to find its source.
I've been on a search for the mother of all garlic, the original garlic, which I think we found in Kazakhstan and also on the Turkish-Iraq border. To me, garlic represents one of the most powerful things in nature. It has a power and an intensity in it which ancient man understood much better than we do.
The farm produces a staggering 100 tons of garlic every year. And they grow over 40 different varieties.
The elephant garlic is big, sweet, people like because of the size, and if you just take a clove and go like that, you could have a little bite of that. That tastes more like a strong leek than with a garlic flavour.
Who are you kidding? It tastes exactly like very strong garlic.
This is black garlic. It's been cooked for about 40 or 50 days, and what you end up with is this black, unctuous
It looks like tapenade from here.
It does. There we go. It's sweet. It's incredibly sweet.
I wouldn't know that was garlic. If you've got sourdough bread that you'd cooked on a griddle and you spread that across, it would be divine.
No.
Colin's whole family work on the farm. Not only do they grow garlic, they also smoke it and love cooking with it in a huge variety of ways.
The garlic bread, made with elephant garlic and herbs in there too, is absolutely delicious.
And the garlic is baked in the bread. It's not garlic butter on the bread.
Over here, we've got a caramelised garlic and tomato tarte tatin. The garlic cloves have been caramelised by boiling them in water and then adding some balsamic. It creates very sweet garlic cloves.
Do you know, I wouldn't think of putting garlic and sweet things, but you do it in your chocolate brownies.
That's right. With the black garlic, it works really well, and it makes it sweet and caramelised, and it just brings an extra depth to baked dishes.
It's much more mellow and soft.
That's right, yeah. Would you like to try some garlic beer?
I'll certainly have a try. Gosh, that's very warming, isn't it?
Do you like it?
I think I could get to like it. Yes, it's lovely. What a wonderful selection of warm comfort food. I'm very proud of this. And yes, I did grow it myself. I didn't get it from the garlic farm. It's an elephant garlic, and it's fresh out of the ground. It needs drying out, but garlic is an essential of many of my recipes, especially the one I'm going to make right now.
This is my version of the French classic coq au vin, and this really is comfort food at its best.
Take a big bowl and put 2/3 of a bottle of wine. It doesn't have to be special, but it does give good flavour.
Add some crushed garlic, peeled shallots, a bunch of fresh thyme, and a few bay leaves.
And then we put the chicken in. Now, I'm using chicken breast today. You could use chicken thighs if you prefer.
My tip for this dish is to cover, then chill the chicken overnight, and it'll soak up all those lovely flavours. Use the marinade to make the rich casserole sauce, and you can't go wrong.
You get a much more intense flavour if you reduce the wine, and I think it's much better to reduce it before it's added to the chicken, otherwise you'll overcook the chicken breast.
Season and seal the chicken.
Then I'll turn those over as soon as they've got a light brown colour.
Once the chicken's done, time for some delicious smoky bacon. Possibly the king of all comfort food.
So this just needs to be turned in the pan, and all the gubbins from frying the chicken, it'll all add to the flavour. The smell, it really smells like breakfast time when you're frying bacon, doesn't it?
When the bacon's nice and crispy, add all those marinated shallots.
And I'm going to tip all that into the pan. That's it. And the herbs are going in there. I've saved it from the marinade. Now I'm going to thicken the mixture.
I've got an old trick that works every time. Whisk 150 ml of cold water into 3 tablespoonfuls of flour.
This really is a foolproof thickening method.
Then gradually stir in the marinade. Do this and there'll be no lumps. Finish with some tomato puree and brown sugar.
And I'm going to show you how it coats the back of a spoon. Can you see that? I think that is just the right consistency.
Now simply cook at 140 fan for around 20 minutes. To make this casserole sing, we need some mushrooms.
I want them to have a really sort of a bit of a bite to them.
Cook them off separately in hot butter so they don't become too soggy.
I think that looks really great.
To really cheer yourself up, enjoy this casserole with some steaming hot crushed new potatoes, roasted with garlic butter and parmesan. Delicious.
So there you have it, my garlic and herb chicken casserole. It really does raise the spirits.
After a good long walk with our dog Millie, there's nothing better than coming home to something sweet. And there's one particular treat that Paul and I love. Both our mothers used to make it, and it never fails to bring back happy memories.
First of all, the caramel. Now, some people find it difficult, and usually it's because they've used a non-stick pan and it crystallises.
The trick is to add some water to a stainless steel or aluminium-based pan and dissolve the sugar slowly, stirring.
And then I've got 175 grams of caster sugar. In that goes. And keep the heat fairly low until it's totally clear. As soon as it's nearly caramel, it'll become totally silent. But now listen, very noisy. Don't make the caramel too dark because it'll be bitter. It wants to be a deep straw colour. That's it.
Let it set on a cold surface while you make the custard. Simply heat 600 ml of full-fat milk. My tip for an extra special rich custard is to add 2 egg yolks to 4 whole eggs. Then 50 grams of caster sugar and a teaspoon of vanilla extract.
Just as if you were making scrambled egg. That's fine, it's running through beautifully.
Now it's time to add the hot milk. Just a little to start with.
If you pour that on and it's absolutely boiling, you will separate the eggs and you'll get curdling. And then you can add the rest. So that's our custard, couldn't be easier.
I will strain the mixture just in case there are any bits of shell in there. Take the set caramel and grease around the inside of the tin.
Isn't that lovely? You could almost see your face in it, couldn't you?
Now the secret for a beautifully smooth creme caramel is to cook it in a water bath.
I'm going to pour the custard in there.
Surround it with boiling water just up to halfway.
And then that slows down the cooking and gets a very even cook. I'm going to cook that at 120 fan for about 50 minutes to an hour.
Once cooked, leave it to sit in the water for about half an hour. Then take it out to cool even further and chill overnight.
Now that is really cold and the caramel will have become liquid. I look at this plate with real affection. This was given to me by my Auntie Molly when I first began to be at college and interested in cooking, and it's just perfect for turning out something like caramel custard because it's got a bit of depth just there.
To help centre the caramel custard, add a few drops of water to the plate first.
So put that on top like that. A wing and a prayer. 1, 2, 3. And now's the time to reveal it. Doesn't that look good? Is it as good as your mother's?
I would say it's almost as good as my mother's, yes.
Everything that your mother made was even better, but there we are, that's the way of the world.
So there you go, comforting recipes to lift the mood and enjoy time and time again. Next time, it's my foolproof recipes for lazy summer days.
I don't believe it! You're amazed, aren't you?
I am absolutely flabbergasted.
I'm Mary Berry, and in this series I'll be sharing some of my best foolproof secrets with you.
I think it's really important to have a selection of trusted recipes that you know will never let you down.
No matter what the occasion, I'll show you how to make it simple. From my delicious ideas that will thrill the family,
That's the best thing I've had all day.
to scrumptious goodies for all those special days.
I never drink at lunchtime, but this is an exception.
Quick and easy meals when time is scarce, and dishes for days when you just want to show off. Today, it's foolproof recipes for the glorious summertime. Ever since I was a child, I've looked forward to the summertime.
I've always loved the great outdoors, whether it's a trip to the seaside or a picnic by the river bank. When the sun comes out, I like to make the most of it.
My mother used to make wonderful picnics, and I've inherited her passion for outdoor cooking. So today,
I'll be sharing dishes with you, perfect for lazy summer days and for outdoor entertaining.
my scrumptious spicy chicken wings, and homemade lamb burgers that are a real barbecue sizzler. a Vietnamese-inspired salad, beautifully refreshing on a hot day, and a delicious jelly made with my favourite summer flavours. But first, a luxurious whole sea bass that couldn't be simpler.
I love to serve fish in summer. It's so beautifully light and it's quick to cook too. I have got 50 grams of butter here, and it really does want to be quite soft, and this is soft. Makes it much easier to cream it down.
Use half the zest from a lime for the butter.
I'm getting every little scrap of zest off there.
And keep the other half aside to make a sauce. Next, add the juice from half of the lime
into the butter
and add some pepper and salt.
Just mash it down. Already it looks quite green because of the zest, but the dill is what makes it. And I'm not going to throw away the stalks. The stalks I'll put inside the body cavity of the fish, and it will add flavour. That looks pretty good to me. So I'm going to put half that aside to go into the sauce, and this will go into the butter. So far so good, very easy. So just mash that down.
Finally, I need a few piquant peppers.
So there's 2 in the sauce and 2 in with the butter.
Now, my foolproof hint. Make 3 slashes on either side of the fish.
The reason why I'm putting these slashes here is because I want to get wonderful flavour into the fish. And I'm going to put the butter in there, and that will all seep into the flesh and make it very moist and very delicious. Looks a bit messy, but I'm opening it up and pushing it down with my thumb.
I've already buttered the foil to make sure the fish doesn't stick. And lastly, to infuse it with even more flavour.
In go the stalks, and we've got these 2 lime shells. Just squeeze them in there. A bit more juice will come out and add to the flavour. So there's the fish. The normal thing you'd think of doing was get hold of the foil and roll it up and have a great thick bit of foil on top. That's not a good idea because it stops the top of the fish cooking. This is a really good foolproof tip. Fold the foil over so it meets the other side like that. Just turn it over. So keep just turning it all the way around. So I've got a good seal there, a bit like a Cornish pasty, holding it up all the way around so the juices will not come out as you cook.
And then into the oven at 180 fan for about 20 minutes while I get on with the sauce. Start with the remaining lime zest, dill, peppers and lime juice. Add a teaspoon of Dijon mustard and a dash of sugar.
And 200 ml of full-fat creme fraiche. Then I'm going to put some pepper and salt in there. What could be easier? And that is our sauce.
The fish has had 20 minutes. Time for all those lovely flavours to sink in.
And when I open it, there'll be a flowing, wonderful buttery juice. There it is. I think it looks magnificent and so simple to do. 1, 2, 3, like that. These are the buttery juices. Just pour it back into those cracks that it came out of. Then the sauce. I've got a little bit of dill. I think the dish would look nice with some of that on. Lovely. So there you have it. Sea bass with dill and lime sauce. All very tempting and very decadent. I can't wait to get my knife and fork in there.
Nothing beats fresh fish and shellfish in summer. And what could be more delicious than crayfish straight from the river? Even on a blustery summer's day like this one. Crayfish are in abundance in our waterways, but you have to make sure you catch the right ones. So I'm meeting experts, Jules and Nick, who know where to fish in these Oxfordshire waters.
Hello.
Hello, lovely to meet you. I'm
Jules.
Jules. Yes, lovely to meet you.
Hello, Mary. I'm Nick. Pleased to meet you.
Right. I hear that this is a really good place to do crayfishing.
It's a fantastic place to catch crayfish. I mean, I'll put out maybe only 4 or 5 nets, and overnight we can pull in 5 or up to 7 kilograms of crayfish in one 24-hour session. So
7? That's 7 bags.
it's a lot, yeah.
7?
Yeah. They work like lobster pots. The crayfish are attracted by the bait. They walk up the net, through the hole, fall in, and they can't, because of the shape of the net, they can't get back out again.
You need a license to do this, though only fishing for American signal crayfish is allowed. This is because they're considered pests, almost wiping out our native white-clawed crayfish since being introduced in the 1970s. So the more we can catch, the better. Before Nick hauls up last night's traps, I want to try a trick of my own.
I've just got a stick, string, some stones to weight down my bait, and I'm going to see how I'm going to get on. You never know. Might be my lucky day. Nick, I'm on my way. I'm being very careful. What do you think?
It's fantastic. I'm dying to see if this actually works.
So, crayfish, come along.
That's perfect. How long do we have to wait?
As long as it takes. No, not yet. Here you are, look. I'll cast again. But do they know that there's the most tastiest bit of bacon for them to come? But of course, maybe we shouldn't be talking. You know, true fishermen who are on the side of a bank,
Or stamping.
they tell you you're not to shout or make any noise, so perhaps they're being put off by us chattering away. I don't believe it! I do not... Do you know, look, it's gone. Catch it.
Now, what we have to do...
You're amazed, aren't you?
I am absolutely flabbergasted.
That really,
Well, there we go. That's him being the signal crayfish thing with the aggressive claws. And now we're not allowed to put that back in the river.
Well, you're not putting it. I'm telling you, you're not putting it. But this is, I'm sure nobody will ever believe it, but this is absolutely genuine. With my little bit of bacon, we have caught that one.
That is fantastic.
Shall we try for another one?
I'm going to put this in the
I've still got the bacon too.
You've still got the bacon. That is unbelievable. Oh, in you go.
What a prize!
Fantastic. I can't believe that's 2.
2.
In less than 10 minutes.
You don't need any of your fancy kit.
I'm going to give up on nets. So the pressure's on me now.
That is amazing. My meagre 2 looks...
Well, so now you can see how many there are in the waterways, and that's one net, one small spot.
I reckon there's about 35 in there.
That's not bad, is it?
That's a pretty good night's work.
Yeah.
They're cooked in boiling water for a few minutes, then peeled just as you would a prawn.
So you end up with a lovely crayfish tail.
Absolutely.
Jules's favourite way to serve crayfish is on a bed of watercress with apple and yoghurt sumac and lemon dressing.
Smell it.
Nothing's fresher than that.
Beautiful. There we go.
You have to try and find the ones that you caught.
That was definitely from
That was
mine.
definitely what you caught.
Of course, you don't have to catch them yourself. You can buy shelled crayfish in shops, and my next summer recipe really makes the most of them.
Sometimes we get a bit tired of just the green salad, the tomato salad, the rice salad. This one is quite different.
It's a rice noodle salad inspired by aromatic flavours in Vietnamese cooking. Start by preparing the noodles as it tells you on the packet. There's nothing more foolproof than that. Next, grate 3 centimetres of fresh ginger.
And I love fresh ginger. I mean, I've grown up with dried ginger, just to use in ginger biscuits and things like that. And so very excited when fresh ginger came along. That's it, that's just about the right amount.
De-seed and chop half a cucumber. Add a finely chopped chilli, a finely sliced carrot and red pepper, and then a clove of crushed garlic. Into that go 6 sliced spring onions.
And you don't need to blanch them, do anything with them, but just drop them in.
And a couple of handfuls of fresh herbs.
I've got mint here, and you just need to chop it just before you need it in a salad, because if you chop it all ahead, it goes black. That's just perfect in there. Then we come to some nice young coriander here. There's a lot of chopping for this recipe, but it's well worth it.
Finally, in go 150 grams of bean sprouts, and then you're ready to add the noodles.
And now to the dressing. I need 3 tablespoonfuls of lime juice. 1, 2. What did they say about good guesses? Anyway, that was exactly 3 tablespoons. Well done, little lime.
Add 3 tablespoonfuls of sugar, 3 of fish sauce, 1 of sesame oil, and whisk it all together.
And then we just toss all this in the sauce. Every scrap going in, and then start to turn it so you get all those flavours. And make sure that you get right to the bottom so everything gets into that wonderful sauce. Doesn't that look healthy too? And it is healthy. So that's really well mixed in. I can't wait to taste it and get it in the dish, so here goes. We had such fun crayfishing, but these I've bought. And I think that looks great. This salad is absolutely foolproof as long as you measure carefully the dressing ingredients, because that's what gives it its flavour.
This dish is great on its own, but it's also perfect for a summer barbecue. I'm a great fan of outside cooking, and I have learnt how to avoid those burnt offerings. These are 2 foolproof dishes guaranteed to go down a storm: minted lamb burgers and smoky Texan chicken wings. The secret of a good barbecue is to prepare everything ahead.
Texan chicken wings, Such fun and really, really tasty, and chicken wings are very inexpensive.
Start by removing the wing tip.
On a barbecue, that very often burns that very thin end, and so you just cut between the joint here. Then you're left with a sort of V-shaped joint. So I've got them all there.
What these need is a lovely smoky marinade.
I've used paprika over the years, but this is the first time I've used sweet smoked paprika, and it has a lovely smoky flavour, and it's just perfect for barbecues. So I'm going to add 2 teaspoonfuls. Not only does that give flavour, it gives a wonderful colour as well.
In with the paprika goes 1 finely chopped chilli, a clove of crushed garlic, tomato ketchup.
Good squirt.
2 tablespoons of Worcester sauce, 1 of brown sugar, and some olive oil.
About a couple of tablespoons, give or take.
Season and give it a good stir.
It's a wonderful colour, that.
My foolproof tip is to coat the chicken using a polythene bag.
Do you know, the whole smell of that makes me think of barbecues because it's sort of smoky and spicy. Great.
So they go into the fridge for a couple of hours or overnight to soak up all that flavour. And in the meantime, I can get on with preparing the lamb burgers.
These lamb burgers are something quite different from the traditional beef burgers. I think they're absolutely scrumptious, and I know exactly what goes in them, and they'll be full of flavour.
Homemade burgers are very simple to make. Start with a herb breadcrumb mix to flavour the meat.
That didn't take too long, did it? It may not be your choice to put coriander in. You can leave it out because the main ingredient is mint. But I think mint and coriander go well. And pop that in there. Then a generous 2 tablespoonfuls of mint sauce. Yes, the sort you buy in a jar.
Next, add 1 roughly chopped red onion and a clove of crushed garlic. Give it a quick whiz, but my tip is to make sure the mixture doesn't get too wet.
I've got 500 grams of minced lamb. Now that would be minced shoulder of lamb, and as you can see, it's fairly lean. So all this wonderful flavouring things are going straight in there.
Add a little seasoning and then work the mixture together.
Nice clean hand going in. Actually, I am going to shape them with my hands anyway, so. A bit like kneading bread. And the one thing you can't do is over-knead this.
Once it's mixed well, you simply divide it and shape it into burgers.
And you want to just make them into flat cakes. And with wet hands, it's quite easy. I think that's a nice shape. We'll make them into 8.
A barbecue isn't complete without something on the side, so I've made a simple tomato relish.
As well as the tomato relish, I'm going to make a mint mayonnaise. What could go better with lamb than mint?
This is a cheats mayonnaise. No need to make your own. Use a big dollop from a jar, add a little ready-made mint sauce, and a good handful of fresh mint.
It's lovely, tender leaf. And again, the smell is absolutely lovely. That's good enough for me. Then you just drop that in.
You can do all this the day before and keep it in the fridge ready for when you need it.
How about
about this for a simple idea for a barbecue? You need an old wheelbarrow like this one, a metal one it must be, a rack perhaps from the oven or a grid, and 4 old bricks. Don't need any fancy equipment.
My first barbecue memory was in 1973 when the children were little. All I managed then were sausages and beef burgers, but I loved the fun of it. And though I'm all for the chaps doing the barbecuing, secretly I do like to have a go myself.
Now that really was simple. The secret of good barbecuing is to do it slowly. First of all, make sure that the charcoal goes down to be white and there will be an intense heat, and that's when you barbecue. So I'm going to leave that to its own devices for about half an hour, wash my hands and get on with the food. So there are my lamb burgers and the Texan chicken wings. I like to have a few veg on the barbecue too, and we've got some overgrown courgettes. So all I do is just split them in half. And they do jolly well on the barbecue. They want to be done very slowly. Bit of pepper on top. That's it. So how's the barbecue doing? The charcoal has gone down to embers. So let's get going. Now onto the chicken. Beautifully colourful. I'm going to pop that on the top there. They look nice and meaty, which is good. That's a good start. I've really well oiled those on both sides. Let's turn these burgers over. Just the perfect colour. And that's how barbecuing should it be. It should not be charred. It should be just that lovely colour. So how's the chicken doing? Oh, that looks just about right.
So there we are, an alfresco feast prepared ahead of time, which means I can relax and enjoy the company.
How about that?
That's what we need.
Beautiful. Right, do take a view.
Oh, yes.
My final recipe uses one of Paul, my husband's favourite summer treats, homemade elderflower cordial.
Here we are, nice cold drink.
In a refreshing lemon and elderflower jelly.
This idea captures the essence of a British summer. To make a cordial or syrup is not difficult. I'm starting off by making just a little bit of lemon syrup to add to my elderflower cordial.
Add the juice of 2 lemons to the rind, pour in 100 ml of water and 75 grams of sugar.
I'm just going to heat that up slowly to dissolve the sugar and infuse the lemon zest. It's the outside, the bright yellow, that gives a lovely flavour to it.
Soak 20 grams of gelatin leaves in cold water until soft. Remove the lemon zest. And after a few minutes, add the gelatin.
Now that's how it should be. You're going to see it's quite squidgy, and just squeeze that out and then just drop that in and it will dissolve in this hot liquid.
And finally add 400 ml of water and 250 ml of elderflower cordial.
Sharp smell of lemons and a hint of elderflower. So there it is ready.
I like to serve this in individual glasses.
In the back of the cupboard, you might have one of your mother's like that. I don't know, I'm sure they came free with a packet of something, but even so, when they're filled, they look good.
Let those cool and then into the fridge for around 6 hours or overnight to set. I'm going to finish them off with another summer favourite of mine. Fresh strawberries tossed in icing sugar.
Gives them a lovely shine too.
And add those to the top with a dollop of whipped cream. Blissful.
Oops. Here are, darling, a treat for you.
Thank you very much indeed. That's very nice. Great treat. Are they our strawberries?
No.
No. It's very nice anyway.
It's turned into a perfect day.
I could get quite used to this. It's very nice.
Next time, my foolproof dishes for days with the family.
That's the best thing I've had all day. What do you think about it, crew? Very nice.
I'm Mary Berry, and in this series I'll be sharing some of my best foolproof secrets with you.
I think it's really important to have a selection of trusted recipes that you know will never let you down.
No matter what the occasion, I'll show you how to make it simple. From my ideas for delicious comfort food.
Oh, another one, definitely.
Another one.
To something more stylish for those special moments. And dishes for those days when you just want to show off.
There's absolutely no calories in here whatsoever.
Today, it's scrumptious goodies to thrill the family.
Oh, thank you very much. A spoon.
For years, my home was the centre of our family life. But as my grandchildren grow up, I find myself spending more time in their homes.
Family is key to Mum. She has always instilled that with us. You pick the top ones, I'll pick the bottom ones. How about that?
Okay.
There we are. And it's come through the generations, so yes. Isn't that what life's all about?
For your first time with sweet peas, you've done very well.
I've had a good teacher.
Today, I want to show you how to make foolproof recipes that keep my family coming back for more. A delicious pie that's perfect to make ahead. A salad that pleases even the fussiest of eaters. Golden sweet treats that never fail. A foolproof Sunday lunch that the whole family will love, with a Cheats ice cream and a secret that's guaranteed to please. But first, a simple and easy bread that everyone can muck in with. I'm always looking for ways to get the children involved with cooking. And flatbreads are the perfect thing, especially for my youngest grandchild, Atalanta.
Flatbreads are so easy. It's just yeast, flour, a little bit of salt, water, dash of oil.
Measure 175 grams of strong white flour, along with a pinch of salt and a teaspoonful of dried yeast.
So I'll just mix that together. Oh, thank you very much. A spoon. can you stir when I put the water in? Okay, stir away. Very gently, because it'll go all over Granny.
Gradually pour in 150 mils of water.
It's coming along, isn't it? Have you made cakes as well?
Mm-hmm.
Which is your favourite cake?
I don't know.
You don't know.
Do you like making bread, Atty? Do you? Is it nice having Granny Coco here? Yes?
It's fairly sticky. Let's just put a little drop more in. Get a good rise from it. Now look, that's nice. And really a little bit on the wet side, which makes a good dough. I put some flour on the table and knead it.
Can I try, by the way?
By the way, you can try.
A good trick is to flour your hands first.
Rub your hands together. That's it. Now, would you like to knead this one? There you are. Off you go.
When I was a little girl, I used to sit here just like you, and my mummy, who is Granny, used to make pizzas with me and bread and biscuits. Can we have some more flour for us here?
Yes, Atlanta. Now your hands. Rub your hands. Wait a minute. Rub your hands together like that.
Granny's got a magic way of doing it.
To make these flatbreads extra special, we're mixing in some parsley and basil. But you can use any herbs that you like.
And just go on working it. And if you want, you can put a bit of oil in it, enriches it more. So just knead that in. There we are. Pop it in the bowl.
Leave the dough for about an hour and a half. It should double its size. Flatbreads are so much fun for a family outdoor adventure. Everyone can make their own.
Here we are. There's one for you.
Of course, you can cook these indoors too. Just heat a little oil in a pan and cook for about 4 or 5 minutes until lightly browned on each side.
That one looks like it.
My family love to fill them with cheese, ham, sun-dried tomatoes, spring onions and sweet corn.
The flatbreads are delicious. They're so crispy on the outside, and the idea of splitting them in half and packing as much as you can get in, I think they're really enjoying it. That's the best thing I've had all day. What do you think about it, crew?
Very nice.
I've been cooking with my granddaughters, Abby and Grace, since they were small. This delicious chicken pie is perfect for their more experienced hands.
So let's get on with it. The first thing we've got to do is to cook the chicken itself.
You need to poach 6 skinless legs in 300 mils of chicken stock and 200 mils of white wine.
It's no good saying use leftover white wine, because there's never any left in our house, especially when your mummy and I are together.
Season, add a chopped head of celery and a few bay leaves.
On with the lid.
And cook at 140 fan for about 30 to 35 minutes.
Let's have a look. Now that should come away from the bone. There you are, it's pulling off very nicely.
Strain the stock, then it's time to make the unctuous pie sauce. Fry 7 slices of smoked back bacon in a dry, non-stick pan.
And that will all add flavour to the sauce.
Smoky.
Smoky, does it smell of breakfast?
Yeah.
When the bacon is nice and crisp, add a large chopped onion and cook until soft. Thicken with a good knob of butter and 60 grams of plain flour.
The secret for a smooth sauce is to sprinkle it in so all the bacon and the onion is really well coated. Go on stirring till you can't see any flecks of flour. Then we add the stock. That's it. And don't add the rest of the sauce until it's one thick consistency.
Finish with a nice dollop of full-fat creme fraiche and whole grain mustard. Pick the chicken off the bone and add along with the celery.
That's it. Stir all that in. So that's our pie filling made, and it looks pretty good.
Can we try it?
Yeah, of course you can. And take a bit of meat as well if you want. There is plenty there.
It's really good.
Now for the spectacular lattice pie lid. Don't let it scare you. Here's the way to do it. Cut 2 sheets of puff pastry into 3-centimetre ribbons.
Abby and Grace are being very meticulous and measuring it exactly.
Lay half of them lengthways onto a circular sheet of baking parchment, slightly larger than your pie dish.
The one thing that they have to do is get them very close together, because otherwise the sauce from the chicken will bubble up through the holes and it won't look beautiful.
Now take another strip and carefully weave it through horizontally. Next, fold back all of the strips that were lying underneath. Lay the next strip across, fold back over. And repeat with the rest of the pastry.
This really is like weaving a basket, isn't it? Well done, that looks absolutely perfect, and you've done it very quickly.
My other foolproof tip is to chill the pastry pie lid for an hour in the fridge. This will help it slide smoothly on top of your filling.
Press down with your hands all the way around, and then just trim the edge with a knife. Do you feel proud of that, girls?
Yeah.
Bake the pie for around 30 minutes at 180 fan until golden.
Oh, it's a good colour, isn't it? Lovely. Right. Don't want to drop it, it's very precious. There we are. So what do you think of that?
It looks delicious. I can't wait to eat it.
Good. There we are. So we just pop that there. And then take some of this chicken.
It smells so yummy. That's delicious.
Yeah,
I'm definitely making this again.
Are you? Do you like them as black as that?
Sometimes my family prefers something light and scrumptious. And the one dish they always request is my delicious tuna salad.
My salad is sort of first cousin to a niçoise salad. There are certain things that I absolutely love, and they're avocados. I'm putting those in. And I've got a wonderful lemon mustard dressing too, which is something that goes so well with tuna.
Everybody loves crunchy croutons, and I like to make my own.
I don't like them too big. I think the smaller ones are nice. Also, you get more crisp edges.
My secret to making sure they always work is to pop them into a polythene bag with some olive oil.
Just drizzle it over. Good pinch of seasoning and a good old shake. As you can imagine, it really coats every surface. If you try and do it in the pan, you end up by having far too much oil.
Then simply fry the cubes in a hot, dry pan.
Don't burn them, it's as easy as winky, especially if you do them in the oven. Those look pretty good to me. Off with the heat. The secret of a tuna salad, I think, is the dressing, and I've got a cracker of a dressing here.
Whisk 8 tablespoonfuls of olive oil with 2 each of whole grain mustard and runny honey, and 3 of white wine vinegar.
And the other ingredient in the dressing is the juice of half a lemon. I don't have the muscle that all those chefs have. They just catch hold of it, don't they? And they go, and somehow or other, all juice comes out. I do that, and very little comes out. So I use a lemon squeezer.
Pour half of the dressing over 250 grams of freshly boiled new potatoes.
It's a really good tip I learnt in France to toss the potatoes in the dressing. They absorb it while they're warm. Then when you add them to the salad, they'll be full of flavour right down to the middle.
I like to serve this salad on a nice big sharing platter with blanched green beans, tomatoes, and a couple of chopped avocados tossed in lemon juice to keep the colour.
I think they look lovely, these potatoes. They're lovely with the dressing.
Don't be stingy with the tuna. A couple of tins should do it, and the children will love it. Finish with 3 hard-boiled eggs.
And that's that lovely mustard dressing. I think that's just the right thing for Saturday lunch. Perfect.
My grandsons, Hobie and Louie, love looking after all their ducks.
We have 5 Indian runners and 2 cooling ducks. The Indian runners are the brown ones.
And how many eggs do you think there's going to be here today?
I'll count them. 1, 2.
Right.
But now and again I can drag them into the kitchen.
We've got 8 now.
8 now. Well, come on, we'll take them back to Mum.
Especially when it's a recipe that will satisfy their sweet tooth. My coconut and cranberry energy bars.
Let's get cracking.
Heat 100 grams of syrup.
What are we up to, Hobie?
95, 100.
Well done.
With 200 grams each of light muscovado, sugar and butter.
It's melted.
Can you get that big bowl there? And I'm just going to pour all those ingredients in there because it's easier to mix in a cold bowl. It looks
yummy.
Add 150 grams of porridge oats and 100 grams each of puffed rice and sultanas.
Now I've got some ingredients here which you might not know what they are. What do you think that is? You taste it.
I know what it's called, but it's on the tip of my tongue. Coconut.
Well done. Well done. That's coconut. So we've got 50 grams of coconut. Pop that in. And then those... Some people grow this plant, and it grows rather tall, and it's yellow.
Is it poisonous?
No, otherwise I wouldn't be putting it in. Well done. It's a sunflower. Now just taste one of those so you remember what it is. So put sunflower seeds in.
You'll need about 50 grams, along with the same amount of dried cranberries, and then give it all a good mix.
Well, we don't mind about that.
That could have gone better.
There's plenty of people to taste it.
These are fail-safe if you follow the next couple of tips.
It's important to compress it so that all the air is out, so that when we cut it into squares, it doesn't all fall apart.
Also, chill the mixture for at least an hour.
Voila!
And it will make slicing so much easier.
Come on, son.
There, we've got a wonderful batch of my cranberry and coconut energy bars. I can hear from the noise outside. They are playing hard. They'll love these.
Look what I've got!
There we are. Come on, Ashley, you come next door. Should we say girls first? Ashley, I think you could make these. It's usual to take the one nearest to you. What do you think it tastes like?
Coconut.
That's right.
Really yummy, and there's really nice raisins. All gone.
All gone.
My final two dishes are perfect for a family Sunday lunch, when you don't want to spend all morning in the kitchen. A sumptuous butterflied roast leg of lamb, followed by the ultimate foolproof pudding.
So here is my boned leg of lamb. Now, at the moment, it looks like a leg, but when you open it up and you take out the two bones, it vaguely looks like a butterfly. But what have you got? Real lean meat inside. And when you marinate it, then roast it, you just take slices, so easy to carve.
To feed my family, I'm using 2.5 kilos. What makes this dish so special is the delicious lemony marinade. Roughly bash 4 cloves of garlic and chop up 2 preserved lemons.
Preserved lemons, very popular in North African cooking, and they really do instill a wonderful flavour.
Next, take 4 tablespoons of roughly chopped fresh thyme.
So I'm just going to open up that meat, and I want maximum flavour. If you just take some of the garlic and rub that all over, leaving some of it, and leaving some of the lemons over there like that, some of the thyme. Now, I'm not going to put any salt on that at this stage, but I will put just a little bit of pepper. That's it. Then I'm going to close that up, put it in the bag, and then add the other ingredients right down there. The reason for not putting the salt in with the meat, if I put the salt in, it will bring the natural juices of the meat out, and I'll get far too much bleeding in the bag.
Add the rest of the preserved lemon mix, along with 4 tablespoons of olive oil and 1 of runny honey.
If you get that sort of honey all over the skin with the marinade as I turn it, when we flatten it out to roast it, it just gives a film of honey on the top, and it means that that skin, when it's roasting, will become beautifully crispy brown. So make sure it goes all the way around. And you can imagine that is going to be absolutely wonderful. So that is now going into the fridge, ideally overnight, if not 2 or 3 hours. So there's the lamb, and tuck any of those bits of garlic, the lemon, put it underneath so the flavour comes right up into the lamb. So into the oven.
Cook at 200 degrees fan for 35 to 40 minutes. What will really bring your lamb to life is the lemon salsa. Mix 4 tablespoonfuls of parsley with 2 chopped preserved lemons, a clove of crushed garlic, and 2 tablespoons of fresh thyme.
I've got 6 tablespoons of olive oil to go in there and 1 of honey. Why am I not adding vinegar? Because, of course, a lemon is acid and it's taking the place of the vinegar. And then to make it even more piquant, a few capers. Just a good teaspoon. There we are. Just a little pepper and salt. Then I'm just going to mix that together, and it's a lovely chunky dressing. It's piquant, it's fresh, and very good. That looks magnificent.
Cover with foil, leave to rest for 10 minutes. This will keep the meat juicy and tender and make it easier to carve.
So remember, this had 35 minutes and it is pink in the middle, but another 5 or 10 minutes in the oven, it would all have been well cooked, so just up to you. I think the family are going to devour that in absolutely no time and enjoy every mouthful.
Now for a truly delicious dessert to finish off the meal perfectly.
My family simply love ice cream. They'll have it at any time of the day, and this one is dreamy and simply scrumptious. But good news, it's incredibly easy to make.
The honeycomb is nothing to be scared of. Add 4 tablespoons of golden syrup and 150 grams of caster sugar to a deep saucepan and place on a low heat.
Then I need to stir that and just do it very carefully until the sugar has dissolved. You'll know when it's done when there's no grit at the bottom.
Now allow the mixture to bubble until it turns a golden caramel colour.
I think that's perfect.
Turn off the heat, add 2 level teaspoons of bicarbonate of soda.
1, 2, and as soon as I stir it, it's going to foam up. That's it. It's almost like magic, isn't it? Don't be tempted to touch it. It is burning, burning hot.
While the honeycomb cools, you can get on with making the ice cream. And you don't even need a machine to do it. Whisk 600 ml of double cream to soft peaks. Then add 1 tin of condensed milk.
When I was young, we had a den, and if we could get hold of a tube of condensed milk and some bread, we used to make sandwiches of it, and it seems heaven to us. Don't exactly fancy it now. If this isn't foolproof, I don't know what is. So, so easy.
Now for the fun bit.
Quite easy, wasn't it? Looks as though I'm really strong. It's taking absolutely no effort whatsoever.
Set a third of the honeycomb aside and fold the rest in. If you like, you could also use nuts or chocolate chips. Simply freeze for 6 hours or overnight. Top with a honeycomb or any sweet treat you like. And voila, it's done.
How's your appetite?
So there you go, foolproof recipes to cook for the whole family. time and time again.
Louis, what do you think about the lamb?
It's very good and very tender.
There's none on his plate, so he must have liked it.
Guess what's for pudding?
Hokey pokey ice cream.
Correct.
Have some more, please.
No, this is mine.
Next time, it's my foolproof recipes for busy days.
Maybe I should have chosen a bigger spoon. It really is absolutely delicious.
I'm Mary Berry, and in this series I'll be sharing some of my best foolproof secrets with you.
I think it's really important to have a selection of trusted recipes that you know will never let you down.
No matter what the occasion, I will show you how to make it simple. From my delicious ideas for lazy days,
Here, are darling, treat for you.
I could get quite used to this. Very nice.
to moments when you need a little comfort.
Life doesn't get better than that.
And stylish treats to delight your guests. Today, it's foolproof recipes for those days when you're simply run off your feet.
Maybe I should have chosen a bigger spoon. It really is absolutely delicious. I've always been a working mum, and as time goes by, I get busier and busier. And my mantra has always been, get organised and try and do things ahead. Today, I'll be preparing some dishes that when I'm very short of time and run off my feet, that I can get together in no time.
A rich and elegant one-pot wonder. My delicious fail-safe that feeds the family in minutes. A hearty favourite you can prepare ahead. And an effortless pud that is unbelievably good. But first, it's my scrumptious store cupboard standby.
Chopped tomatoes are perfect for busy people. I always have them, and I buy them in sixes, and they're just there, and it gives me a great comforting feeling to know that I can knock up a quick soup or a quick sauce in no time.
Something else I keep in the cupboard for times like this are sun-dried tomatoes. 6 of these and a touch of oil with some pressed garlic will give a beautifully intense flavour.
Then add 3 cans of chopped tomatoes. Only at the end of the season, when tomatoes are really cheap, would I use fresh tomatoes. These are really the most useful thing to have in the cupboard. And a real foolproof tip is to add some sugar. The sugar brings out the flavour of tomatoes. Even if I'm grilling tomatoes, I just put a little sprinkle of sugar. It just gives it extra flavour, as well as a bit of pepper and salt. And finally, I'm going to add some stock. I've got 500 ml of stock. Now, you may not have fresh stock. If not, use a stock cube. Now, what I've got to do is give that a good stir, bring it to the boil and simmer it for 10 minutes.
Then give it a quick blend until it's beautifully smooth.
That's it. I've managed to get none of the tomato on my shirt.
Some milk and double cream will make it lovely and rich.
If you want it less rich, put all milk in. If you want it very rich and special, all cream. Look at
at that colour. It's most tempting. Maybe I should have chosen a bigger spoon. It really is absolutely delicious.
To finish, a generous swirl of fresh pesto.
So there you have it, my 10-minute delicious tomato soup, all from ingredients from the store cupboard. Perfect for a busy day.
That's just so quick to make. But if you have lots of hungry mouths to feed, there's another foolproof favourite that always springs to mind.
I can remember, sort of back in the 60s, when pasta was something quite different. People were a little bit shy of it. You think how often we have pasta now. This, I reckon, is only going to take me 15 or 20 minutes. So let's see. To start with, I'm going to take 1 onion, which I've chopped just roughly, and I'm going to cook it with the pasta. That means you don't have an extra dish, and onion that is boiled is delicious. We always fry it, but cook it alongside pasta and it gives a really good flavour.
This works for any pasta dish. Today I'm using penne.
And I like it cooked al dente, so it's just got a little bite to it.
That can take care of itself while I get on with the bacon. Use smoked to make it even tastier.
I've left the fat on the bacon. I'm using a non-stick pan, so I don't need to add any extra oil. And I'm going to keep an eye on it.
For a splash of colour, broccoli works a treat, but peas will stand out just as well.
Now imagine doing this at home. You've got your pan on over there, you've got to have eyes in your back of your head and listen to how the fat's doing, going over there just to give it a quick turn. The smell is wonderful. Now, I've got this stalk, and you know, I really can't throw that away, and I'm not making soup at the moment, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to peel this, and then I'm going to include it. And we waste not, want not. And I hope I come across these nice crunchy bits. That's it. Let's have a look at that pasta. There's still a bite in it. It's still very al dente.
I reckon that has just 2 minutes to go. Just enough time to cook the broccoli.
All in one pan, saves on the washing up. Now, can you see, that's just taking colour, and that's how I want it to be. That's it.
A clever way to keep the broccoli vibrant is to give it a quick rinse in cold water. Now add the pasta to the bacon so it can take on that lovely smokiness.
I love the bright green of the broccoli, and then the little sparkling jewels of tomatoes. Already that's looking special, isn't it?
Bring it all together with a carton of basil pesto, shop bought of course, when time is tight.
It's a matter of getting everything really piping hot, but it does look so tempting. All these lovely colours. Now you think this has got no sauce to go with it. It's all done in 2 pans in a very short time.
A scattering of toasted pine nuts and Parmesan shavings finish it off.
So there you have it, my express bacon and pesto pasta. Perfect when you're in a hurry, and a lovely dish for the family supper.
I'm so grateful that my days are very busy, and they have become even more so over the last few years.
So this is for Holly, happy 12th birthday, and Alice.
I try to keep on top of everything, and I have my lovely assistant Lucy to help.
Yeah?
But when I feel the need to unwind, there's one recipe perfect for slowing things down.
Now, fennel, you either like it or loathe it, but I'm going to make you love it. And I'm going to
cut it into small dice. If it's in too big a pieces, it won't become tender. So there it is. Some people take out that middle a bit there, but I'm not going to. I find there's no need, and it becomes a little more crunchy than the outside. That's it. Now I'm going to just give that a turn. Now I'm going to add some garlic. Then I'm going to add the rice. This is round rice. It's not pudding rice. It's arborio rice, or sometimes known as risotto rice. Then we need to add some wine. Very important. A white wine, and I'm going to add 300 ml. And this is a new bottle, and I know just about where my finger should be, how far we should go down. So a 300 ml. Tiny drop more. And we'll just let that absorb for a few minutes. I've got here 750 ml of fish stock. It could be vegetable stock.
My foolproof tip is to make sure the stock is really hot.
I'll give it a stir.
The rice will absorb it much quicker and it won't overcook.
It is important to add it little by little, and the total time from when you start adding the stock, it will be about 20 minutes. Slowly, carefully, and make sure it's all absorbed.
This is the bit I find very relaxing, perfect after a busy day.
Now, can you see now that's thickening up? That is perfect. There's still a little bite into it, but I've got other ingredients to add, and it'll need a few more moments longer.
Some peas, lemon juice, and for that touch of class, generous chunks of succulent salmon. But you could always use prawns or chicken if you prefer.
Now you'll notice that the salmon is at once changing colour from that shiny pink to an opaque pink. And it takes no time to cook at all.
For sheer luxury, add 3 tablespoons of creme fraiche and some grated parmesan. And finish with some fresh tarragon.
It's just the right consistency. You can see that it's sort of creamy, and I'm keeping the fish whole. To crown the glory, a little bit of pea shoots. You know, there's plenty of body in the middle of that rice. It's just cooked. It's lovely and creamy. The fennel flavour's coming through, and the salmon is just perfect. I don't just like it, I love it, and I'm going back for another one. Not bad.
For me, nothing beats the convenience of cooking fresh veg straight from the garden. But we don't all have the time or space to grow our own. But there is a way to get seasonal veg delivered to your doorstep, and you don't even have to write a shopping list. I've come to Coleshill in Wiltshire to meet Sonia, who runs one of over 600 veg box schemes that are growing in popularity up and down the country.
So you're growing all different vegetables. How many do you grow?
Probably throughout the year about 70, and that obviously includes some fruit as well. But we need to get a range of vegetables to go in the boxes just to keep people interested throughout the year. Let's go and see what we can find then.
So these are balotti beans. Do I have to feel whether the beans are inside them before I pick them?
Yes. The pods look awful, but the beans inside, if you look at that, they're just like little birds' eggs.
Oh,
they're beautiful, aren't they?
Aren't they?
Mm.
What do you suggest people do with them?
Okay, well, obviously you've got to pod them. So you're just going to use the beans. Boil them for at least 30 minutes. And then once they're soft, I would put them into something like a nice tomato sauce with maybe some green beans as well, and some seasoning and basil and garlic. Or you could do, if you want to be really adventurous, you can make a borlotti bean hummus. That's what I'm
tempted.
Yeah.
This is certainly a fun way of getting veg you might not choose for your weekly shop.
So these are all Romanesco. It's a cross between two different vegetables, isn't it?
That's right. It's a cross between broccoli and cauliflower. And in fact, it translates as Italian cauliflower.
That is sheer beauty,
Isn't it?
It's
Yeah.
like a little mountain of cauliflower, isn't
Yes.
it?
Yeah.
So what do you like to do with it?
Well, you can roast it whole. It really brings out the flavour. It's a beautiful nutty flavour with some spices and things. So there you go, look at that.
Within minutes of being picked, today's selection is being boxed.
They've got some nice romaine lettuce, so they'll be having Caesar salad, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
And as if I didn't have a busy enough life, I've now become a delivery woman.
Hello? Hello.
Oh,
There's your veg box.
Oh, excellent.
So what's the best thing about the vegetable box?
As a working mum, it's very easy just to feed your kids, you know, peas, carrots and broccoli, because you know they're going to eat it. And having a box like this definitely makes their vegetable eating more varied.
And it must save you time not having to go shopping, make those lists, find the stuff.
It's one less thing to worry about, absolutely.
Well, you enjoy it.
Thank you very much, I will.
So a delivery can certainly make your life that little bit easier. But if you're wondering what to do with all this wonderful veg, I've just the thing.
Most people just do cauliflower cheese, but I'm going to do roasted cauliflower. And all I'm going to do is take all the sprigs off and roast them in a little olive oil. Then just pull off each of the heads. They want to be sort of about that size. And if you want to split them, just take a knife like that and then pull them apart and they'll hold together like that.
To get the perfect roast, coat evenly in a little olive oil.
You could do this in a bowl, but on the other hand, somebody's got to wash up the bowl, and we're all in for saving time. Then I'm going to put a little seasoning under the cauliflower, like that. A little bit of seasoning on top. And it's nice to use sea salt because you get a bit of crunch. So nothing could have been simpler than that. All it's got to do is to roast now, and that wants to go in a really hot oven, a fan oven 200, and it'll take about 30 minutes.
While the oven works its magic, I'll show you the quickest dressing imaginable. Lemon juice, olive oil, seasoning, and a few capers.
I love capers, they seem to go very well with cauliflower. Then some chopped parsley, and just whisk that together. That's the dressing, really very easy. For me, it's just a little on the sharp side. Maybe you like dressings sharp, but I like them a little on the sweet side, so I'm going to just add a little sugar to that, just caster sugar. That's more my style, a little less sharp. Cauliflower's going to be ready.
Coat the roasted collie with the dressing.
That has got a lovely shine to it now, and
I'm just going to tip that while it's piping hot. Doesn't that look gorgeous? Something totally different, very quick to do, and oh so simple. This is so good, I love it on its own. But if you're making the family supper, why not try it with these, which can be prepared ahead to make life easy. First of all, the stuffing. Take 350 grams of sausage meat and liven it up with chopped thyme, parsley, lemon zest and parmesan. And I can see it's well mixed because the parsley is evenly throughout. So I've got the chicken thighs here. Now you can buy chicken thighs without bone-in. In some regions you may find that you have to have it with the bone-in, so I'll just show you how easy it is to take that bone out. There it is in the middle there. So if you just do even strokes down either side of that bone, once you've got the end of it to hold, can you see the weight of the chicken brings it down, and then it just comes off quite easily at the end, like that. Right, now to the actual stuffing. Simply cut it like a cake for perfect portions. And I'm going to roll each one into a sausage shape, and think about it, it wants to be the same length as the chicken thigh. Just a little bit of seasoning. Then we put our little sausage in the middle. That's it. Roll those round like that. They want to feel rustic, so don't worry if the sausage meat peeks out at the ends. Now we need to put bacon round the outside. And make sure that it's really well wrapped round underneath. That's it, and that is going to hold it together. My tip for a beautiful glaze is to drizzle some honey before they go into the oven. I've set it at 200 degrees fan, and it will take about 25-30 minutes. What could be easier or quicker? I'm well pleased with that. Gorgeous colour. You know, looking at all of those, we always have sort of beef burgers in buns. Wouldn't that be absolutely delicious in a bun? I think I'd really enjoy that. Perhaps a bit of chutney underneath. And look how a wonderful colour that bacon's become. It looks very special. You can prepare it ahead, and gosh, it's good to eat. Despite life's demands, I always try and make time for my friends. And I've been playing tennis with the girls every week for over 20 years.
Yours, she says.
This really helps take my mind off my busy schedule. But when we've tired ourselves out, I love serving up a special treat. And this is the quickest little pud you can imagine. On a very busy day, you may think no time to make a pudding or indeed a biscuit, but I'm going to show you a pud that's so delicious, so quick to make, and absolutely foolproof. For this guilty pleasure, you'll need to dissolve 100 grams of caster sugar in 600 ml of double cream. Yes, double cream. It's a luxury pud, this. Now for the fruity bit. The juice of a lime and 5 passion fruit. Use a lemon if you prefer. You know, passion fruit is something that's become more and more popular as the years go by. To begin with, I was very shy of it.
but I absolutely love it now.
Whiz that for a few seconds.
Here we go.
It will crush the seeds and give a gorgeously intense flavour.
And then with a spoon, just push it through. It goes through like lightning. Right, now I'm going to have a look at that cream.
For a lovely smooth texture, there must be no trace of sugar.
So in goes the lime juice and then the passion fruit juice. Give it a stir, and as you do it, you see it is thickening. It's a reaction of the lime thickens the cream instantly, and the passion fruit also helps too. This is very rich. You certainly don't want big sundae glasses to fill because it would just be too much. So these little glasses, I think, are great. They need to go in the fridge for 3 to 4 hours to set firmly. See, there's a real wobble now, and I'm going to make a special, very quick biscuit to go with them. First of all, a little flour on the table.
Roll out half a block of all butter puff pastry.
And I'm aiming to get this about 8 inches across.
Don't panic if it starts to stick. Some cling film will save the day.
And keep rolling until it's really, really thin. Imagine you're making something like millefeuille. That wants to be just as thin as this too. And because puff pastry rises in flaky layers, you'll get a really crisp, thin biscuits. That's it. Now, I want to have squares of 4 inches. So to get a square, you just fold it over like that. Okay? And then another square on the way down. Like that. And like that. And then for my triangular biscuits, you just cut each square into 4. Nothing could be simpler, could it?
For a delicious topping, just brush with egg white and sprinkle evenly with a mix of lemon zest and sugar.
So really, so quick, easy, simple to do. You haven't even made the pastry. Now these need very careful baking. I've set the oven at 180 centigrade, and they take about 8 to 10 minutes because they want to be a very pale golden on the outside. If they're brown, they'll be bitter. So you've been warned. Very steady hand, and they've set.
Finish them off with a dash of passion fruit.
Now those are perfectly baked. They're a lovely pale golden brown colour and really original. I think they're winners, especially for the girls' lunch.
They do look pretty. Yummy, as my grandchildren would say.
They're absolutely glorious.
To the winner. Cheers. To the winner.
Next time, it's my foolproof recipes for days when you want to show off.
It's absolutely delicious, very summery.
There's absolutely no calories in here whatsoever.
I'm Mary Berry, and in this series I'll be sharing some of my best foolproof secrets with you.
I think it's really important to have a selection of trusted recipes that you know will never let you down.
No matter what the occasion, I'll show you how to make it simple. From my delicious ideas for lazy days.
Here, darling, a treat for you.
I could get quite used to this. It's very nice.
To moments when you feel like something a little comforting. And scrumptious goodies to thrill the family.
That's the best thing I've had all day.
Today, some of my favourite dishes, perfect for a party.
There's absolutely no calories in here whatsoever. I love putting on a party, but to some people, cooking for a crowd is very daunting.
I've always enjoyed sharing my ideas for party recipes. It's a time when you want food that's fun and different, but doesn't take forever to prepare.
Entertaining shouldn't be complicated, so I'm sharing with you some foolproof recipes.
A colourful salad platter, great for a party table. A classic terrine that's seen me through many happy occasions. A phyllo surprise that always has them coming back for more. And a truly impressive gâteau. But first, a delicious curry that makes a delightfully different party piece.
When I was first married, I loved having people round, and there was certainly no room to sit down. People sat on the stairs, they sat on the floor. I could never get up now. And all the rage was a fork supper. That meant that you had a plate and a fork, and I think it's a splendid idea. Right now, I'm going to do a Thai chicken curry. It's perfect for a crowd, and all people need is a fork and a bowl.
Add 6 sliced chicken breasts to a tablespoonful of red curry paste.
It really couldn't be easier. Keep turning it over so that every bit is coated. The heat releases all those lovely spices and it'll help to flavour the meat. It also helps to give the meat a nice colour.
When all the meat's sealed, put it to one side and use the same pan for the sauce, starting with 2 sliced onions.
So on with the lid. I'm going to turn the heat down and I'm going to leave that to cook in its own steam until it's become really, really tender.
After about 10 minutes, turn up the heat and add some finely grated fresh ginger.
Oh, the freshness of that. It's a lovely smell, strong, lovely lemony ginger smell, lovely. I'm now going to add 2 more tablespoons of Thai paste. Go steady if you like it on the mild side.
My secret for a thick, velvety sauce is a tablespoonful of plain flour.
Sprinkle it evenly over.
And full-fat coconut milk.
Thai curry is fairly new to me. I think I had it at my daughter's, I suppose 2 or 3 years ago, and absolutely loved it. And I've made it ever since.
For those special Thai flavours, I'm adding kaffir lime leaves, the zest and juice of half a lime, a tablespoonful of brown sugar, and the essential fish sauce.
I must say, when I first heard of fish sauce, I didn't like the idea at all, but it really brings out the flavour and is part of what you expect in Thai food.
And of course, lemongrass.
Just bash it with a rolling pin. Now, the sort of rolling pin I have is a wooden one, which is ideal for it. Don't do it with a glass one. Now I'm going to return the chicken And as you're going to be doing this for a party, it's essential not to overcook it.
About 5 minutes should do it.
Right.
For some gorgeous colour and crunch, I'm adding sugar snap peas and water chestnuts.
It's awfully good.
I love exploring new ideas, but sometimes there's nothing quite like the classics. And this recipe is one I've served at many a happy celebration.
I love going back to my old favourite recipes when I'm having friends round for a party. Now this one is a ham hock, and I'm going to make it into a terrine. Many people are really frightened of making a terrine, but I promise you this one is very easy and it's foolproof. Neither trotters or ham hocks are very popular, but it is an excellent cut and it's going to make a very inexpensive terrine.
The secret to this terrine is slow cooking the meat with celery, carrot, onions and some peppercorns and fresh thyme to give it plenty of flavour.
All I've got to do is top up with water. It's important to cover the meat. That's it. So I'm going to bring that to the boil and then I'll transfer it to the oven. That weighs a ton, but I'm going to be very careful.
That goes into the oven at 140 fan for about 4 hours, so all the flavours can infuse and the meat melts away from the bone.
If the smell's anything to go by, it's going to be wonderful. Oh, it's soft and it's absolutely falling away from the bone. That's exactly what I want. It's come off the bone without being asked. There we are. Oops. Look at that lovely chunk of meat there. Then you're left with a bone there. And I know who will like that.
Break the meat into pieces.
I want to keep it in shapes because as you cut through, it gives a lovely effect. Now that is perfect, it's all done.
All those delicious juices from the cooking can now be reduced to make a beautiful jelly to hold the terrine together. I'm using 5 grams of gelatin.
Can you see that? It's soft, squidgy, and then you take it and you drop it into that very hot stock. It wants to not be boiling, just very, very hot. And it is slightly cloudy, but that is all part of its charm. If it's terribly clear, I'm suspicious because it'll have no flavour.
Now I'm ready to assemble the terrine.
In the very bottom, I'm going to put chopped parsley so that when I turn this out, I have this wonderful green layer and it does look very smart. So just a little in there. Not too much. I don't want all the parsley to float about. And I've got some mustard seed here. I'll just put a little over here now. The mustard seeds add interest. So you do it in layers.
Make sure you ladle the stock on every layer. It will fill all the gaps and hold everything together when it's cut.
I'm quite chuffed with that. I think it's going to be something that is just a little bit different, and I bet it's something you haven't tried making before. And leave that until it becomes stone cold, and then put it in the fridge overnight. I think it's coming away quite easily. It should do with the cling film all around it. That's it. I think that parsley top looks lovely. It looks very inviting. And, well, let's see how it cuts. I think that looks pretty good. You see how well it holds together. It is beautiful. It is tender. The jelly is so well flavoured. I'd rather have that than just plain cold ham any day.
When I'm planning a party, I make sure some of the dishes are blissfully quick to prepare. The secret is to use fruit and veg in season at its best. And at this time of year, what could be better than sweet, ripe tomatoes? With more sunshine hours than other parts of the UK, the Isle of Wight is perfect for tomatoes. And I've come to discover some of the wonderful varieties grown in Newport.
Brian, when I was growing up, there was only one kind of tomato, all the same size, quite big. I think they were called Moneymaker, but that was it.
We've got about 40 varieties we're growing at the moment. So we've got everything from big beef tomatoes to tiny cherry tomatoes, some on the vine, some off the vine, lots of different colours, yellows, orange, pinks. We have one guy who goes around looking for lots of different varieties, and his quest is to basically find the tastiest tomato.
I think he's got a very cushy number. I wouldn't mind going around the world tasting tomatoes.
Try one of these, Mary.
That is perfect for me.
Good.
It's full of flavour, it's beautifully sweet, and I feel it's doing me an awful lot of good.
Would you like to have a look at the tops of the plants, Mary?
Yeah, why not? Do you know, I thought I was going to have to put my leg over theirs, and you've got longer legs than me. So up here.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, good thing. You couldn't get a big person in here, could you? Shut the gate. Now, this is very safe for your workers, isn't it? They can't fall out into the tomatoes.
Going to go up now.
OK. Third floor, please.
These plants grow to a staggering 13 metres high. Shoots are removed weekly, allowing the flowering tops to take in all the glorious sunshine.
It really is another world right up here. It seems acres and acres of it. As far as I can see, there are tomato plants. It is amazing. It's just sort of breathtaking.
But the best is yet to come. I'm going to choose a selection for my party platter.
There are so many varieties here. I'm tempted by the greeny ones over here, and I think you call them zebra, and I'm going to use those in my platter because they look so stunning and so different.
Let me show you one here, Mary.
It's almost black, isn't it, round the outside? That tastes really good. It's got a very firm texture, a lovely flavour. Those yellow ones, I'm very tempted in the front. Are they cherry yellow or something?
They're a yellow cherry type, yes. Have a taste of this one.
They are very firm, they hold together well. I think they're lovely, and they'll certainly add interest to my platter. Have you got a box down there?
I have, yes. There is a decent sized box here, so.
Well, let's have the old flavour, these lovely cherry tomatoes here. I've got a really colourful, magical spread of tomatoes, lots of variety.
And a glorious harvest for my next recipe. As simple and fresh as it gets.
Perfect for a celebration. Just look at this selection of tomatoes. The colours are spectacular. It's amazing how in many vegetables we're turning to different colours. If you're preparing it ahead, don't put salt on the tomatoes, because if you do, it'll draw out all the moisture and you'll be left with a pool of liquid underneath. I think I rather like the look of these.
A simple dish like this makes the ingredients the star of the show, so you can't really go wrong.
but I'll just toss them in so they're all quite haphazard.
Spring onions go beautifully with tomatoes, and these will add a bit of crunch.
That's it. Sprinkle that over the top, all over. So I've left a little hole in the middle because I'm going to put a little bowl there of my goat's cheese, and I'm going to make it into a little sort of mousse. I think a great change from mozzarella. After all, we're changing the colour of the tomatoes. Why don't we change the type of cheese?
This mousse is definitely foolproof. Just whip 100 ml of double cream with 150 grams of soft goat's cheese.
Mixing the goat's cheese with the cream makes it a lighter texture and a little bit richer.
What could be easier?
So that goes into the centre. We're getting there.
To bring it all together, blend fresh basil, garlic and olive oil for the dressing. Delicious.
Don't put this on till the very last minute.
Finish with some beautiful Parma ham and the last sprig of basil.
I think this is perfect for a summer celebration. It really is sunshine coming through the windows. Absolutely stunning.
Whether I'm laying on a spread for a few or scaling up for numbers, I've always loved a dish on the table that's just a little bit different.
I've served salmon kubiak on all sorts of occasions. It's easy to serve because you know that each one will serve, say, 10 people, and so you can up the recipe very easily. I think that this is a very good centrepiece for a party, especially when you want to be a little bit more economical than usual.
Start by baking 500 grams of salmon at 180 fan for 15 to 20 minutes. And while that cooks, I can get on with the rest of the filling. Lightly fry onion, crushed garlic and chilli in a little butter, and add sliced mushrooms. Then add the zest and juice of half a lemon to some cooked rice.
The smell is great, beautifully garlicky.
When the salmon's cooked and cooled, break it into pieces.
Can you see, as I put my knife in it, it is just beautifully done, just as I want it, and there's plenty of moisture there. This used to be a half-term treat for the children when they were young, and their friends would come in and I'd make a big kubiak.
For a lovely fresh flavour, use a handful of chopped chives and parsley.
That looks good enough for me. And shush it all in. And then I'll give it a good mix. That's it. And you see how gentle I'm being. I'm not sort of mashing it down because I want to be able, as people eat it, they think, oh, this is salmon. I can see the nice big generous pieces of salmon. That's it. So I'm just going to put that to one side and get on with the phyllo part.
Don't be put off by using phyllo.
It's wonderful stuff, I think, phyllo. And no, I am not going to make it. I made it at college and I vowed never again.
I have a foolproof trick that never fails. All you need are 6 sheets of phyllo pastry, a sheet of non-stick paper and melted butter.
I'm doing it that way, then that way, and then that way, so that it holds together well.
By crisscrossing the sheets like this, it just won't fall apart.
So that wasn't too difficult, was it?
Now for the salmon and rice filling.
A kubiak traditionally is high, so we're going to mould it with the hands, first of all, like this. Like that. Take this end up here and fold it over. And with the aid of the paper, I'm going to turn that over, give it a push. And you want to end up with the join underneath. That's it.
For a perfect crispy golden brown finish, bake at 180 fan for 30 to 35 minutes.
I'm really quite chuffed with that. I love the way it rises in flakes. It looks most tempting. The wafer-thin pastry all the way around, and a mass of that glorious salmon, herbs, chilli and rice. It just looks tempting.
I've always enjoyed cooking for lots of people, and a summer's day is the perfect excuse for a party in the garden.
Today we have the garden owners of Buckinghamshire who open their gardens for National Garden Scheme, and they're all coming here on a jolly and to see our garden. So a great welcome to all you owners of gorgeous gardens in Buckinghamshire. And for once the weather forecast said the sun would come out between 2 and 3. They're quite right, aren't they? Every party needs something grand as the finale, and I've got a big, bold and beautiful cake.
What I love about this is the Genoese sponge, one of my favourite things to make. For each sponge, whisk 4 eggs and 125 grams of caster sugar. A lifetime of baking has taught me to rest the bowl on a wet cloth, or it will slip.
On it goes.
If it's pale, light and fluffy, it's done.
That's about right. When I write an M there, I can just see the M and it quickly goes down. Did you notice I was moving the whisk around? If you stand still, the outside won't mix very well. Follow exactly as I've done and you'll make a good Genoese sponge. Well, so far so good.
Now slowly add 125 grams of self-raising flour.
And folding in is going round the outside and cutting through the middle. Outside and cutting through the middle.
You'll need to be gentle to keep the air in and make your sponge lovely and light. It's adding 50 grams of cold melted butter that makes this a Genoese.
So that is absolutely scraped clean. My mother would be proud of me, wouldn't she? She always used to say I was a bit of a... used to do things rather quickly when I was baking. I've learnt that it's a good idea to take every scrap out, makes a bigger sponge.
Make the second one in just the same way, then into the oven for around 30 minutes at 160 fan until golden and springy to the touch.
How about that then? They look perfect. They're just shrinking away from the sides of the tin, and when I put my finger on it, it springs back again. So that will be the underneath, and this will be the top, and I'm going to let those get absolutely cold before splitting them.
this is anything but guilt-free. For the filling, I need 1.5 pints of lightly whipped double pouring cream.
Of course you can do this with a mixer if you like, but keep your eye on it. That's beaten just the right amount. Let's get to cutting these in half. Lie the knife absolutely flat and a sawing action until you meet where you started. It's quite fun to do, but you've really got to concentrate to get it right. And now it's an assembly job, the part that I like best. It's really generous, but this is a special party. I want everybody to say, gosh, this is good, no extra cream needed. They're going to enjoy every single slice.
I'm adding blueberries, raspberries and blackberries. But keep clear of the larger fruits, which will need cutting.
Push it down so the cream that I've put there comes up between the fruit, and when you cut it, it does look very good. Then 1/3 of the cream again.
It's best to do all this the night before and keep it in the fridge. Cream will soak into the sponge, keeping everything lovely and moist.
There's absolutely no calories in here whatsoever. And some blackberries. Have I gilded the lily too much? No, I don't think so. I'll put a few more on. I think that's a most spectacular finale to any party. There we go.
That looks amazing.
If I could eat it all, I would.
I love having a crowd. I'd never write a book cooking for one. I like the friendship, I like the people. I like them to enjoy what I cook.
It's absolutely delicious, very summery.
I hope we're allowed seconds. All her recipes work, that's the lovely thing. You always know if you want to make another recipe you've never done before, if it's a Mary Berry, it's going to work.
Everybody seems to have enjoyed themselves, and it's good to spoil them.